How many times this year you opened the same file in your Canva folder and you start working on the photos, on the address, price, and re-exported the same image over and over and over?
Now, when you scaled or when you were told we have to stay on brand, you looked at maybe 10 different photos or you did but is your branding consistent? Is your six that you're gonna run on the same house different, a different shade of green, but it's still not quite right? Because we are tired of, as human beings, we get tired of looking at the same old thing, even if it's on brand, but the brand drift is very, very common for solo agents.
Exactly. Here's basically the pain. You don't have a brand problem, you have a render problem, and you design beautifully in Canva because you have the kit, the colors, and the voice. But every time, basically, you need a new variant. You go back to your Canva and do it by hand. Every time, for example, the house just went under contract or just sold, or the market update that you're doing, or that every thumbnail that you're making, or every postcard that you're doing it for your open house. And what happens here?
But basically, re-rendering is manual labor that you're doing. So what we're going to talk about today is how Claude Code can look in our Canva designs as a transparent template once, and then once you have it, once it's kind of figured out and it can create unlimited variations of that design, different photos, different data, different scene, different copy in seconds, all from you having one single on-brand render that you've created for yourself. Now, personally, we have at least 14 of the templates that I've already scanned into our pipeline for various things. I'm going to talk about that more about that. And one of them is a YouTube thumbnail. Also listing carousels, but that's one scan, and then you can actually have code rendering forever, and your brand is always staying on point, and it's going to be a little different, but it's going to be more on point, saying, oh, what else should I do? So the Canva scan actually works.
Exactly. Therefore, basically, we wanted to reveal how this exactly works with the Claude Code. You probably only, as we said, already designing in your Canva, and you have layout that you love, the banner that you use, a card that you create, or the thumbnail that my wife talked about, for example, for your YouTube. And the problem is not really designing it. The problem is getting off the Canva without redrawing it every time over and over.
So step one, let's go through how we're going to create the pill so we always have consistency from this on. We're going to design once in Canva. Make whatever design you want, a just sold card, market overlay, your YouTube banner, whatever it is that you want that's going to be needed in your brand kit that you're going to recreate over and over again. Just pick one and we're going to do it once. Step two, what are we going to do?
Basically, step two is exporting. A standard Canva export, basically nothing really fancy, but just finish design at a flat image.
Now you're gonna go to Claude Code and you're gonna say, hey, I need you to scan my template and understand my branding colors that you already have. You should already set up your branding kit. But if it doesn't, we're gonna set up a branding kit based on this download that you did. Or you can connect it to your Canva and then just have it read your Canva with the API. But basically you're gonna have it scan what it is. So you're asking it to scan the template, and we're gonna make sure it understands where everything might be, where your scripts go, where your ribbons go, where your text go, and everything, and strip everything else. This way it has a transparent PNG layer. And now this transparent PNG is going to be reused forever and ever and ever. And it's going to live in your repo, not in Canva, and now Claude owns it. So you want to talk to me about step 4? You want me to do it?
Step 4 basically composited into anything. Now the code can place basically the transparent template that my wife was talking about over any new images, and Gemini's basically create that scene to for example.
No, Gemini created scene. It might be a real listing photo. It might be market data.
Exactly.
It might be a neighborhood shot. It can be anything once you have, but you have the transparent template to go over that image.
Exactly. Basically, it's gonna come to face detection.
Let me explain a little. Okay, so if you're gonna do Gemini, and you're going to create your own AI photo, one of the things you have to do with Claude really is make sure it has a face detect feature. So when you're creating yourself with AI, it's not going to make you look weird or not going to have features that aren't you. So it's going to have an underlying face detect to make sure that it is there. And your largest face-free quadrant will not have anything there covering your face. and then you want it to rewrite the dynamic text. Maybe it is your area, maybe it's just sold, whatever it is that you want it to write, and then you can apply a shadow drop. A drop shadow over the composite parts where it needs to, and it's going to do this automatically, and you can tell it whatever size you need this template for. Do you need it for YouTube? Do you need it for Instagram? Do you need it for LinkedIn? What do you need it for? And basically, again, we told you that one design lives forever in your template, and now we're going to do much more than that than just have that one render. But again, code is an unlimited render. Once you've scanned it, that design is now that template is now an asset that it's going to use more and more.
Exactly. Therefore, as my wife said, we have 14 different scan banners, and we are growing it in our pipeline now. For example, one is a stage right, the other one is, for example, sell faster, your cash, your profit, sell money, different names for this kind of pipeline. And we basically, one of them was designed in Canva once and then scanned once, and now it renders basically for each scenario that you are trying to use it for different real estate.
He's saying more than he's not saying enough, right? So let's talk about a little bit what it does right. Say you have a listing, right? You have a listing on 123 Main Street. With 123 Main Street, you have your template that is created, and now maybe you have 14 different templates in there. Don't know, whatever you want. And then you have a system of how many times you need that listing to go out onto your social media. You have different versions of it. You have your images of your the house that you have to sell, and it can create automatically within days everything you might need in your brand. So once it has the template, it can create that and it can iterate endlessly. So let's just look at what we're already doing with ours.
Exactly. Therefore, basically you can make a YouTube thumbnail factory. You use the Gemini, no?
Well, again, yes and no. Once I have like more ones that you love, so you give me 30 images that you love, I can then feed the template to Cloud and say, these are how I want my things to be. And once I feed it the 30 images, and now it knows the next time I do YouTube images and I have 30 templates, it's just going to change the template, use one of my templates, and it's going to create a new image with my face and whatever we want to do, but it's going to have a template. That's how it works.
Okay.
All right, and the second thing is maybe for the listing one, like we have one called Listing Launch, right? And you want to have different cover locations. You've scanned it once. You need to cover the great room, the kitchen, the library, whatever's in that, the backyard. And every image is going to have something, and it's going to be with the template on brand, and it's going to be selling that house based on your branding. And then the banner library is even more amazing, because the banner library is going to take you a few minutes to scan, but then you can have thousands before you retire it. So the ratios of what it's doing, once you've given it your design that you want, is really unlimited.
Basically, now we wanted to talk in mass. This is the compounding library, and you can do this mass on your own for your own production. And for example, every Canva session that you run today, every just sold edit, every market overlay that you were talking about, every thumbnail, call it 20 minutes, including the waiting for this iteration. No? And 20 agents, 20 assets a week, you do multiplication, and how long does it take?
It's basically multiple days in your life that you're manually re-rendering. Sure, in Canva we had this auto creation, but let's be honest, auto create looked pretty boring after a while on our social media feed, which is why many of us didn't really do that. But now we're talking about how we can make it completely new and different every single time, but still on brand. So one 10-minute scan, now you have a template, unlimited future designs, because now you're still putting your faces in, you're still putting the different words in, and you have a different background in. So every one of them is going to look different, but you have a template on how the overall branding is going to be. So and let's just hypothetically say you do 5 scans every single month, and then 5 scans next month. Inside a quarter, you've now created 20 templates that you can now use for the rest of your career unlimitedly. Exactly. That's not a word, but I used it anyway.
Exactly. Therefore, imagine with this system how much of time you can save per year. I mean, it depends on how much you're active in social media, but that's crazy, you know?
Right. Now let's just talk about it for listing. You want to talk about listings for me?
Yes, for the listing, for example, you have a different scenario, like a just sold cars that autofill with the address, sold price, and the days on the market. If you have a price drop overlay that wrap any cover photo with your branding, or you wanted to do a coming soon teaser for the week before MLS goes live, your feature listing banner for your website header, and want to scan new property every week, open house sign layout, and you can print it on the demand, or for example branded floor plan title cards, that you can do all of this above for your listing.
Now, maybe you do weekly market updates on social media. You have templates for this already. And you're changing medium days sold, days on market, active inventory. And if you watch our previous video, you can just feed the information into Cloud, and it's going to create the numbers and then create these overlays use your templates to create the overlays for you. So you don't have to actually do the math anymore, and you don't have to type it in. It's going to do the math and type it in for you. So once you have your templates, you can have every subdivision getting its own template and send to the people who live in those subdivisions that you helped a nice little beautiful template of what their house might be worth based on the market and the days on market in their neighborhood, which is amazing, right? And it's all automatic.
Exactly.
Now, for past clients, I told you can, besides all that, where your quarterly, like what your house might be worth, your anniversary cards, your birthday cards, your holiday cards, all of these things that you create in Canva, once you have it, it can change it automatically. So you're not constantly reminding. And if you connect to Cloud, to your bold trailer, your KVCore, which is what I do, it now knows the sold date because you put it in the cloud. So they know your sold date, which means it now knows the anniversary. So you're not constantly remembering. As long as you put the data in there, the data is going to drive everything.
Exactly. And then for email and direct email, basically you can do the same things for the door hangers campaign. You can use the same template, feed it, scan, for example, the layout, feed it to the cloud, and over use it for different scenarios.
Now, again, use social media. You can do Pinterest, you can do GIF banners, you can do Google Business Profiles, which is something we're starting to do more now. For recruiting, maybe you want to grow your team, you want to do some promo banners, why your company is the best for you, your recruitment cards, everything that you might have online. And now, including those videos I talked about, once you have like 30 good templates or 30 good ones that you've done in the past, now we have a way that's always running for us, because now it creates every single time using the same pattern, not repeating, so it doesn't, your website doesn't, your YouTube channel doesn't look like it's repeating because you told it 30 different designs. So now it's 30 different ways and you say don't repeat for 2 weeks, you're never going to have the same one showing back up over and over again. Now, what doesn't work? I think that's the next part.
Okay, what is this?
You do need to make sure that you have a scan that has color separation. So if all the colors are very similar, and it's going to be very hard for a computer, the computers are very smart. But if it's a hard with branded layerings and backgrounds designs, and it can get messy because it's hard to key. Now, if your design is isolated and it's easy for it to understand, then it's going to be able to use that template over and over again. So it can read it forever.
Exactly. And
now, we are so excited to talk all about Cloud and everything we do with Cloud all the time, and we have so much more to share with anybody who joins us.